You wake up, you commute, you work. You go home exhausted, sleep, and do it all again tomorrow. But while the days repeat, your bank balance stays exactly the same. In the quiet moments, a fear often sets in, that you simply aren't smart enough or haven't worked hard enough to get ahead. The struggle to build wealth happens because of how our brains are wired and the specific systems we live in. It's a biological and systemic setup that most people never realize they're caught in. You've been dropped into a highly complex financial machine without an instruction manual. When you don't know the rules, you operate at an engineered disadvantage. So let's look at the biology first. Researchers ran an experiment comparing two groups of people making decisions. One group had plenty of money. The other was placed under simulated financial stress. For the group under financial stress, decision-making power literally shut down. Working IQ dropped by 13 points as brains forced into survival mode. The brain powers down future planning, diverting all energy to immediate needs. It's a biological reflex. Psychologists actually call this the scarcity mindset. When your resources are low, every choice you make becomes a reaction to today's panic. You become completely blind to tomorrow's growth. This biological mechanism creates a vacuum in long-term planning. When your brain is physically locked into today's survival, it triggers a sequence of reactive financial choices, making future growth nearly impossible. And while your biology is fighting against you, your education system offers no help. You spent 12 years in school, and nobody taught you how to file taxes, how to invest, or how compound interest works. That omission is by design. The modern school system was standardized during the Industrial Revolution. It was built to mass-produce compliant, punctual workers. Notice the exact same layout. Rows of desks perfectly mirror rows of factory machines. It's a training ground for obedience and repetitive execution. Society sold us a very specific formula. Get good grades, secure a single job, and trade hours of your life for a fixed paycheck until you retire. When you run that outdated factory worker operating system on a biologically stressed brain, you get perfectly primed, exhausted employees trapped under a lifelong wage ceiling. Because your brain is exhausted and unable to plan for the future, it looks for comfort right now. It seeks immediate dopamine and validation through societal markers of success. We call this the keeping up with the Joneses effect. Society normalizes taking out massive loans for lavish weddings, upgrading cars, and buying the latest phones just to project an image of wealth to people who aren't paying your bills. Robert Kiyosaki's philosophy on building wealth starts with one specific distinction: the difference between a liability and an asset. A liability continuously drains money from your pocket, like an expensive car. An asset is the opposite, a system channeling money into your pocket. Together, they form a vicious trap. Biological stress triggers liability spending, dropping you back into scarcity. Your savings secretly bleed out, and nobody stops you because society actively praises you for buying those liabilities. You achieve financial ruin in a way that feels comfortable and socially acceptable. The goal is financial freedom, securing enough capital to buy back your own time and choose exactly how you spend your life. The very first step is overriding your biological impulse. You have to intentionally remove 10 to 20% of your income and pay yourself first, before you handle any present-day expenses. Next, you have to decouple your income from your time. You need scalable digital skills, like coding or content creation, where a single effort can be sold multiple times, breaking you out of that rigid 24-hour daily limit. Use those skills to build just one small asset: a digital product, a niche blog, or a micro-business. Just one thing that functions entirely independent of your daily labor. This chart shows the math of compound interest. It is an emotionless tool. Small, consistent investments start out flat, but eventually hit an exponential upward spike, building massive wealth over a few decades. Society programmed you to be a stressed, compliant consumer. But understanding the biology and the psychology used against you gives you the power to forgive your past financial mistakes. You can intentionally build assets, step out of the factory line, and finally break the scarcity cycle forever.
Don't forget to subscribe.